What's up, guys? It's Justin back again. Going to talk to you today about the free games you can get from PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now for the month of February. So starting off, we're going to go with Destruction All-Stars. This is the PS5 game that is free this month. It's kind of noteworthy because originally it was going to be released as a $70 game, and then PlayStation backtracked and made it and said, no, it's going to come out in February. It's going to be free for any PS Plus users. So it's probably the right thing they did that. This game is developed by Lucid Games and was published by Sony. Came out February 21, like I said. It's bright and colorful. Kind of reminds you of Twisted Metal from back in the day. I don't know why they just didn't redo Twisted Metal. Maybe Twisted Metal doesn't work in today's society or something. I don't know. But looks pretty interesting. I watched a Twitch user stream it for a little bit. Like I said, bright and colorful. The characters you pick from are very diverse and varied in their skills and looks. And I'm psyched. They say it's like doesn't have much to it, and that's why they made it a PS Plus game. But I think it looks really fun. I don't know if it'll be the next Rocket League or whatnot, but it definitely looks cool. And whenever I can get my hands on a PS5, I'm gonna be really excited to give that a try. Next one is not without controversy as well, and that's Control Ultimate Edition, so you can play that on PS4 and PS5. The big thing about that is when we're getting closer to the new consoles coming out, the Xbox Series X and S and the PS5, all these different game companies were saying, oh, this is what you got to do to be able to play the next-gen version, you know, and some of them are cool, like Microsoft. They're just like, hey, if there's a next-gen version, if you bought it on Xbox One, you'll have the next-gen version ready for you. Some others have done other different things, and Remedy, the people that made Control, said, hey, if you want the PS5 version, you're going to have to buy the Ultimate Edition. Now, did they do this knowing they were going to have the PlayStation deal coming out? Probably not, but it's still shady either way. Like I said, Control was made by Remedy and then published by 505 Games. It's from 2019 and won a lot of awards. It's a really awesome game, so, I mean, if you haven't bought it yet, score. You're getting a really good month, but I kind of feel bad for the people that already bought it, and definitely the people that already bought the Ultimate Edition. But hey, what can you do? Our last game is Concrete Genie. That was developed by Pixopolis. Came out in 2019. It's a very interesting looking game. It's about a bullied kid that likes to do drawings, and he comes across a magic paintbrush, and he can use that magic paintbrush to paint on the walls of his city and bring to life creatures and the world that they came from. And not my cup of tea, but I think maybe my son might like it, and maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's kind of geared towards younger players. So hey, for free, I'd definitely give it a try. Hopefully my kid would like it too. I don't know. Next, I want to talk about PSNow. I still think that's a great service and a great value. So if you don't have it, maybe consider getting it. Decent month this month. First game I'm going to talk about is Call of Duty Black Ops 3. This was developed and published by Activision and came out in 2015. Popular game, got decent scores, Metacritic and whatnot. I just don't understand why anybody would want to play it when there's Warzone and what's the new one called? Black Ops Cold War or something, Cold War. When that's out, like, I just don't know. I guess for the story. Silly me, I'm always doing multiplayer and whatnot. I don't think about games having stories and people just wanting to play the story. So maybe that's a really good story, so there's that. The next game that is available this month on PlayStation Now is Ww2k Battlegrounds. That's developed by Saber Interactive. I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but they did the two NBA Underground games, the kind of like spiritual successors to NBA Jam. And I really like what they did with that, so I like this developer. And that was published by 2K Sports, of course, in 2020. And it's not like a typical wrestling game. For years, 2K was putting out all these different games, but after 2K 2019, they parted ways with the development company, Ww2k. And so I think the 2020 version was like really weak and had really weird graphics and really got low scores, so they went a different route. Battlegrounds has like a fantasy element to it. You know, when you're really hitting the guy, your fists start to get fired up. You can get power-ups, and once you get enough meter going, you can do some really over-the-top super move. You also can throw people out of the ring into environmental traps like an alligator or a car falling down on them, depending on what kind of battleground you're in. The people look kind of weird. They look like toys almost. They're very short, squat looking things, and they actually come in they drop down into the ring in different boxes that you can use in-game currency to make the boxes look different. And it's a fun game. I like it. I played it on Stadia first, and I found it fun and found it worth buying. So if you're getting it free now through PSNow, that's great, right? Our next game is Detroit Becomes Human. That's developed by Quantum Dream and published by Sony. Came out in 2018. This is a narrative-driven adventure game where you play 3 different androids out of something like a Isaac Asimov type story, where they get free will, and even though there's 3 different characters, if one of them dies off, the story continues. It just means you're going to get a different ending, so that's kind of neat. I've actually never played a game by them, so I don't know how much I'd be into it, because I'm a little more action-y, but heard it's pretty good and probably worth a try. Our next game is one I do like, and that's Darksiders Genesis. This was developed by Airship Syndicate and published by THQ Nordic in 2019. If you're not familiar with Airship Syndicate, they did the Battle Chasers video game, which is based on the Battle Chasers comic, because the guy that's at the head of Airship Syndicate is Joe Mandura from, he used to do the X-Men back in the day. He has like a over-top, they'd say anime inspired back then. I don't know if they'd really say that now, but dude's awesome. I love everything they do. And this continues the Darksiders story, but instead of the typical third-person God of War type-like game, this is more of a Diablo type game, and introduces Strife as the new horseman, who has like these ghostly pistols. And you also can play as War. You hit a button on the controller and you swap in and out. I played this one on Stadia first too as well, because it came out on Stadia before it came out on any other console, and it's a lot of fun. Another game coming out to PS Now is Little Nightmares. There's about to be a sequel coming out, so I guess they're going to try and drum up some interest with this. This was developed by Tessir Studios, published by Bandai Namco. It's actually a platformer. It's just got like a really creepy vibe and like creepy aesthetic. They play around with like lights a lot. It looks like you're like fumbling around in the dark and you got to like avoid the monsters and go in between the light. I played this on Stadia as well. Typical thing running here, but pretty cool game. If you like platformers, I'd say give it a try. And last but not least is Hotline Miami 2, co-developed by Donation Games and Abstract Games, published by Devolver Digital. This is the sequel to the surprise hit Hotline Miami. It's a very fast-paced game, top-down shooter. The graphics are kind of old, like I don't even want to call it Nintendo or not, but it's weird graphics, but it's got great music, and if you play it for nothing else, play it for the music. But the gameplay is really good too. It's a really fun game. So that is it. I hope you enjoyed this, and keep playing.